Hey everybody, it's May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, right? Happy Star Wars Day. My Darth Vader shirt on today. We're going to do something kind of cool here just for a little Star Wars themed action. So you might recognize this. I made it try to look a little bit like the Millennium Falcon going into hyperspace. And you can see what I'm talking about if you just Google Millennium Falcon hyperspace, then you can kind of see how the windows of the Millennium Falcon look, and then the stars all stretching out as the hyperspace jump happens. So if this is something you're into, let's talk about it and check it out. So here's what we want to do, okay? First of all, pretty simple. We're going to take a black piece of paper and we're going to draw the stars, okay? They're all going to a vanishing point, okay? So this is perspective. Everything seems to get smaller as it goes away. And in the movies, the dots are there and then they kind of all stretch out. So let's put this together and then we'll do the next part, which is making the window scene. Okay, so I don't really want to have a dot in the middle of my paper, okay? Because I want to have this space be kind of empty. So the way I can find my point is I can fold the paper a little bit and I could put a little crease there right in the middle, okay? And then do the same thing the other way and you'll make a plus marks the spot, little cross marks the spot. I guess if we turn it sideways, it's an X marks the spot. But you can see that's my vanishing point where those two marks come together. So then I just want to add the stars. So what I like to do is start by drawing these. Now I want to leave this space open here in the middle. So I'm going to go do north, south, east, and west first. And then I'm going to do the diagonals. And then I'll put a few here just to remind me when I start doing this that all of these lines are supposed to go to that vanishing point in order to make it look most realistic. So if I lay all that out first, it helps me out. Now you can use whatever type of white you want to for this. I'm going to try a few different styles just so you can see the different thing. This was the color pencil, okay? And this was the oil pastel, okay? Depending on how sharp it is, okay, the oil pastel will make nice lines, okay? They'll often be thicker than the color pencil lines. You may want to just experiment with more than one type of line. Some of them will be shorter, some of them will be longer. Usually there's more stars out here in the pictures, so you want to make a bigger concentration of stars on the outer edges, okay, and color the edges in more and leave fewer stars towards the center, okay? So it's not that complicated. You get the idea. If you want to use a crayon, then it's going to be somewhere usually in between the oil pastel and the color pencil in brightness. But we get the idea here. Okay, so we're going to add a few more lines here. But this will be our hyperspace jump for our background. Okay, cool. All right, so try that out, get that ready to go, okay? Then you can use any color of paper you want for the next part, but I'm going to use gray for the example. All right, if you want to pull up a picture of the Millennium Falcon and try to copy that kind of like I did in the example, that's fine. But what's kind of cool is to design your own ship, okay? What does the view look like out of the ship? I usually start with some kind of dashboard. I don't know if that's what it's called in a starship, but you know, where all the instruments and stuff will be, okay? And you don't have to do a ton of detail here, okay? You're just sketching things in. So do you want some chairs to be there? You can do all of this later. I just kind of sketch that in to say, okay, that's the little dashboard area. You can make it look like whatever you want to, okay? Then I need to think about what the actual openings are, okay? So the Millennium Falcon has rings like circles, okay? But what's to stop us from making a triangular shape, okay? So what I'm going to do is think about the middle here, okay? And I usually sketch everything in just roughly, but to help us to cut everything out, we're going to fold this paper in half, okay? And so we probably want everything to end up in the center, right? So I'm going to end up with this piece going in here, okay? And I'm just going to do some sketching, okay? I'm going to make some kind of interesting, okay, window. I keep a border around the outside just for this project, okay? You wouldn't necessarily have to. So let's do this, and then we'll keep straight lines for now since we're going with the theme, okay, of triangles here. And then let's go like this. So really you can come up with any type of dashboard or window design that you want to, okay? So this is kind of cool. All right. Now, I draw it, but you don't necessarily have to draw everything. I just kind of like to get a feel for what it's going to look like. But if I want everything to be symmetrical, then I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half, and then we're just going to pick whichever side we think looks the coolest, and that's going to be the side we're going to cut out from, okay? So I'm going to pick this side for now, and we'll go ahead and cut out. So it's simple to cut out the pieces that actually touch this middle section here, but after that it gets a little bit trickier, okay? I'm going to show you two ways, okay? If you guys did the paper cut, the 5th grade project, then you kind of know what's coming, okay? So I've got those two pieces cut out pretty easily here. All right, there's two ways to do these shapes, okay? The first way, and the way that keeps the paper in the best shape, is to get a hole puncher or something and punch through so that you get your scissors into the middle. Then you can cut a bigger section out so your scissors works through there a little bit easier. And then we're going to cut these shapes out, okay? And this keeps the paper intact more, okay? Because we're just cutting out the shape and it keeps that border in place, okay? Just make sure you're getting both layers of paper at the same time, and then you'll save yourself a little bit of work, unless you like going back and cutting the same thing both times. Sometimes it's hard to get to a piece of paper. It might be because you need to bring your scissors in from underneath instead of on top, okay? So sometimes it's easier to get to a shape if you come in from the bottom rather than coming in from the top of the paper, okay? So that's the first way. So that's starting to look kind of cool, all right? So the other way to get into these shapes is to cut through the edge. You just have a little extra gluing on the next part. So I'm going to cut into the edge here, and then I'm going to cut out the shape, okay? But I'm going to be careful to leave the edge just with one cut so it goes back into place there, okay? So I have to think a little bit more as I do this. But you can usually make this work if you don't want to punch holes, okay? Or if you don't have a hole punch, or you don't want to cut holes in that way, you can actually just go right into the edge here and cut the shape out. You just have to remember that wherever you started, I just don't want to cut right out through there, because then I'll lose my border. Wherever I started, I want to go back and come out that edge there, okay? So let me show you what that kind of looks like there, okay? So I have these two cuts here, and when I open this up, it makes it a little bit less strong as far as the paper goes because I made it cut through there, but it still works okay for what we're doing, okay? So let's do this last one here. I'll use the hole puncher again because I think that'll keep the paper in better shape, okay? All right, so let me get that all cut out and then we will get started with the next part. Okay, so it's all cut out now. I can get my space picture back here and put that over the top of it, and we see our hyperspace jump working there, okay? So after you put this all over here, you might decide that you want more lines filling in there. So you might want to fill in the hyperspace jump a little bit more and have a little bit more stars, okay? Depending on how much of that jump your window lets in, you may want to have more space in there, okay? Let's see what that looks like, okay? Okay, cool. All right, so we're jumping to hyperspace here. So now you just have to glue this into place, okay? One simple thing to do is just glue the middle first. So like, just glue a couple of spots that are easy to get to, okay? Because sometimes it's tricky. You don't want to get glue all over everything and you don't want to move things around. So I'll glue the basic shapes down first, and then I can lift up this part. Once the other part dries a little bit and is in place, then I can put a few dots on here, okay, to glue these other parts down and get them into place. So that's a way to work on the gluing. Rather than put glue on everything right at the beginning, put a little bit of glue on there and glue those parts down, okay? So you've got the basics here, and then you just spend some time adding some details to it, okay? So if those are supposed to be your chairs there, then go back and sketch in and shade some details for the chairs, okay? And you can make them, try to make them look a little three-dimensional too, if you add some shading or some other details in there. So use some of those techniques that we've practiced and that we've come up with in the past to make everything look interesting, okay? You might want to sketch things in first and then go over it with a marker, okay? And we'll make some instrument panels here, okay? Right, some gauges. It's up to you. I'll let you be creative with it. Think about it. Draw some different details on there, okay? Go over it with a pen, go over it with a marker. Design your own starship jumping to hyperspace for Star Wars Day. All right. Kind of quick, kind of cool. You can spend a lot of time with the details down there, but it's an interesting way to use the idea of one-point perspective where everything's going back into space. All right, I hope you thought that was kind of cool and enjoy. Let me know if you do. Send me a picture, and may the force be with you. Bye.